Okay, let me pause there and start recording. So the characteristics of any science is that it starts with the very basic core information. And the question is, what are the core ideas of physics that allow us to build up a theoretical foundation that can explain a great deal of the universe? That's the question that we put here. What are the very basic ideas, right, of physics? And how many are there? How many are there? What are the very basic ideas of physics, and how many are there? There, that allow us to put together
Professor, quick question.
Yeah.
Remember, I said for the first exam, my cousin and I can't take it because it's on a fast holiday.
Okay.
You're gonna change the date, right, for the first exam?
Yeah, we'll change the date.
Okay. And the rabbi said he's just working on getting stationery, but for sure this week or next week we will send you the letter from our rabbi. So
okay,
that's why it's taken a while. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I will change that. There is still like 1 month to the first exam, so we will be able to change it before we get that. But you know, don't feel free to remind me again. Okay, feel free to remind me again. Okay, so what are the basic ideas of physics, and how many are there? Okay, the basic ideas that allow us, the basic ideas that allow us to develop a theory that can explain a great deal of the universe. Okay. One more coming here. Okay, so this organization here, this you might not never see, but the three core ideas of physics. There are three core ideas of physics, okay, which are the basic quantities, the primary definitions, and the laws of physics and nature. Okay. So we start like that. For now, just memorize those things that you have here: basic quantities, primary definitions, and laws of physics. You know, you folks are very familiar with the basic quantities. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them. When it comes to the next box here, it becomes a little bit more difficult. You haven't seen that explicitly. And then you have this other one here, the laws of physics. So what we have here, in order of increasing difficulty, would be from the left to the right, okay? Most of you have been exposed to the basic ideas since early childhood. The primary definitions, you know, comes later on when you start learning math. Start with math, and then when you learn physics, right? Some of the ideas of the basic definition is, one of the ideas of the basic the primary definitions is a math concept. The other one is more like a physics concept. And then you have the most difficult of all, which are the laws of physics. So let me, you know, get a show of hands, not a show of hands, I would say. I want to know, I didn't ask you folks before, right? And who is, if you ever had physics before, whether in high school or before this course, can you type there in the chat box for me so I can know exactly in the chat window? And Ryan raised his hand, right? Ryan, what exactly you wanna ask? Are you there, Ryan? Okay, looks like Ryan raised his hand accidentally. Okay, so here you go. Before we proceed, right? Please send me a chat message stating whether you have studied physics before, whether at the high school level, okay, or the undergraduate level, whether at the high school level or undergraduate level. Okay, Pedro is coming.
Hello, Professor.
Yeah.
It's Ryan. I raised my hand because I took physics in high school.
Ah, okay, cool. Okay, great. So let me see. I have a 24 message here in the chat box, right? I want to keep a note of who has taken physics. Some of you have, some of you haven't. Well, it looks like most of you haven't, right? So, okay. It would be nice to call, you know what, let's do it this way. I'm gonna call attendance, right? I'm not gonna hold that against you. I'm gonna call you attendance, and then you tell me, makes things easier for me. You tell me whether you have taken physics or not, right? Neil, Anino, are you there, Neil? Neil, Anino, let's see. Yeah, Neil is not here. To physics, okay. Physics. Now, Maria Argelis, Ramirez, are you there, Maria? Okay. Maria Argelis, I don't see her either. Next in line, Jade Bisquera.
I have not.
Have not, okay, thank you. Again, I'm not gonna hold you against that, okay, just for my own information, so I can design my course accordingly. Ashley Diaz.
No, I haven't taken physics before.
Okay, good. And Lucy Spezia, right? Roche. Are you there, Lucia? Lucy? See here. Lucy. No, I don't see Lucy there. Okay, next in line, Sonny Khalif. Let's see if Sonny is here. Sana, right? Sonny, Sana. Here you go. I don't hear. Okay, Julissa Molina. Are you there, Julissa? Okay, so next here, Samuel Sanchez. Samuel doesn't look like it's here either. Erica Fajardo. Are you there, Erica?
Hi, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I did take physics in high school.
Okay, cool. So you know a little bit more what you're going to talk about. Did you take just mechanics, or you also took electricity and the other courses?
Just physics.
But which part of physics is that? Newton's law only, or you also went to electric charge and the other concepts?
I'm not sure actually. I think it was mechanical physics.
Yeah, most likely it was just mechanics. Yeah, Newton's law, right? Okay, good. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Erica.
Mhm.
Okay, now Vanessa Bonilla.
No, I haven't.
No, okay, thank you, Vanessa. McKeon Curto,
I haven't taken physics before now.
you have not, right?
I have not.
Okay, thank you. Fisher, Duan. I see Fisher here. Are you there, Fisher? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, here you go. I'm here, have not taken. Okay, thank you, Fisher. And Blessing. Have you taken physics before, Blessing?
No.
No, okay, thank you. And Jeanette Garcia?
No, I haven't taken physics.
No, right? Thank you.
No.
Okay, thank you, Jeanette. Let me raise my volume a little bit here. Here you go. And Wendy Hernandez?
No, I haven't taken any physics courses.
That's something I should have asked you the very first meeting, you know. Ryan Ong, you have taken, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I took physics junior year, but the problem with that class was that the teacher wasn't there for most of the semester, so I didn't really get the full experience.
Oh, what a shame. Okay, I'm sorry for that. And maybe it was just mechanics, just one semester that you took, Ryan?
No, it was just regular physics.
I know, but it was during a year or just one semester, you know?
Oh, I think it was for the entire year.
Entire year. Okay,
I think, but you know, it's been like 3 years, 4 years ago.
okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, Mia Villalobos, are you there, Mia?
She said she has an appointment. She'll probably be here in like 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll put a star here. So Raymond Garcia. I see you have taken undergraduate. Means, I see. So you took undergraduate. Okay. So thank you for sharing that with us. It was just one semester, Raymond, or it was more? Just one semester. Okay, so most likely it was just mechanics, right? You didn't include the whole electricity. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Donovan Harris, are you there, Donovan?
Yes, I took biomechanics in undergrad. I think it's kind of close. I mean, but not physics.
Biomechanics, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but it does involve some concept in physics, right? Because you have to know
It does, yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, man, I do not know how to put it here. Maybe I'm gonna put half because
Okay.
okay. So
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that with us. And Josh, yeah.
Professor, this is really, I don't know if I got cut off. Did you put me, but I didn't take physics before. I put it in the chat already.
Yeah, I don't think I got to you yet, Lily. I don't think
Okay.
yeah, it should be down there in group 8, right? Let's see, group 7. Yeah, okay, so I'll get to you. Thank you. So Joshua Jimenez. I'm calling you by group number, right? Remember that. I'm calling you by group number. Okay, I'm here. Okay, thank you, Joshua. And we have one more student coming here. Luis Latiza. Luis, right? Luis Latiza. Let's see. Luis Latiza is here. Okay, I don't see Luis here. Luis is here. Lily, okay, now it's your turn, Lily. You are here, right? And you said you didn't take, Lily?
Yeah, I didn't take it. This is my first time.
Okay, good, thank you. Michael Hasid.
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Yeah, so did you take, Michael, did you take physics before?
No, it's my first time.
Okay, thank you. Daisy Mariscal. Let's see, Daisy. Okay, I took it in high school. Okay, good. So you did take physics, and did you, well, most likely you start with mechanics. Did you ever take electricity and thermodynamics and modern physics, or you just, do you remember what was the type of physics that you took in high school, Daisy? Just mechanics. Okay, thanks. So let's go for Donia Chaparral, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I haven't taken physics before.
Okay, thank you. That's the first time. Thank you. Ana Lopez.
No, I haven't taken it.
You haven't? Okay, thank you. And Mary Okek. I see Mary here. Okay. I need you. Hi, Mary. I need you to interact here with us. Okay. I see you in the list, but I don't hear. So I'm gonna put a star. You can, when you come back, I can take the star off of your name. So let's see of your attendance. Jennifer Perez. Are you there, Jennifer?
Yes, I'm here. And I did take it in high school.
You did take, okay, in high school. Okay. Okay, good. So Mary is here, back. Okay, good. Mary, did you take physics before, Mary?
Hello, Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I sent you a message. No, I haven't taken physics before. I was muted. I'm talking. I didn't realize that.
Okay. Okay, so
Thank you.
you haven't, right? So.
No.
Okay, thank you. And in case of Jennifer, I presume that's just mechanics, right, Jennifer?
We actually did both.
Okay, thank you.
And electricity.
Okay. Oh, Elika.
No, Professor, I haven't taken it.
Okay, thank you. Bethany?
Hi.
Hi.
No, I haven't taken it.
Okay, thank you. And Arthur Pacheco?
Yes, I took it a couple years back.
Couple years back. Was it high school or undergraduate?
It was in college, but it was general. I just didn't end up finishing the semester.
Okay. So okay, thank you for sharing that with us. It was not this type of course. It was a lower level, right, Arthur?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we call it that course, physics for poets, or baby physics, we call it. I have taught this type of course before. Good. Brianna Valencia.
Yeah, I've taken physics in high school.
Ah, high school. Okay, thank you, Brianna. Pedro Ruiz.
No, I haven't taken physics yet.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Basilio Lopez. Okay, let's see if Basilio is here. I see Basilio in the, okay, no, you haven't. Thank you, Basilio. Okay. Vahad, right? Mart. Vahad,
Yes,
Mart.
I haven't taken physics.
You have not, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Alejandra Marmolejo.
Yeah, I have in high school.
Let's see. Let's see. I didn't quite understand. Choose yes or no.
Yes, in high school.
In high school. Okay, good. Thank you. And Amarilis.
Here.
Yeah. You take physics before Amarilis?
No.
Oh, okay. Good. Youssef?
No, I haven't.
Okay, thank you, Stena. Yesenia Montes Rodriguez. Let's see if Yesenia is here. Okay, no, you haven't. Thank you, Yesenia. And Lady Luz, right? Ponte Corso.
No, I haven't.
Okay, thank you. Lydia Rosa Buenrostro.
No, I haven't.
Okay, thank you. And was everybody called? So, let's see, eight to nine students, let's say, right? Took physics out of 33. Okay. So if you didn't take you shouldn't be, you're in the majority here, okay? So who else? Mia. Mia didn't arrive yet, right? So let's go back to what you're talking about. We're going to use this concept here, not just for the lecture, but for the lab as well, okay? So just memorize those 3 core ideas. There are only 3. You don't have to memorize 100, okay? Basic quantities, you know some of the basic quantities, but you may not recognize it by this name here that I listed. The primary definition, you may know one of the primary definitions, okay? And if you took physics, you know there are 2 primary definitions. And if you took physics, you know some of the laws of physics, okay? And now we are going to elaborate on those core ideas, on those basic concepts of physics. That's the starting point of physics. So it's very important that you memorize those 3. Basic quantities, primary definitions, law of physics. Okay. Now let's elaborate on those ideas. Okay. There's a total of 7 basic quantities in physics. Throughout the years, since we start to try to explain the world, we came up with inventions, right? The conceptual inventions that were important, were useful for us to understand the world. Here you go. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to take this one out too. Here you go. There are 7. But the 3 most important ones that you are mostly familiar with is the idea of length, it's the idea of time, and this idea of mass. There's one more here. I'm going to put that for you too. Temperature. Okay. What I'm putting between parentheses here is the unit of measurement of those ideas. It's how we quantify this idea. We all grew up with the idea of length, right? And we called length a basic quantity in physics. We all grew up with the idea of time. We all grew up with the idea of mass. And eventually, we learn about the idea of temperature as well. So because this is a physics course, those quantities are measured in the quantified in the international system of units. The meter for the length, the second for time, the kilogram for mass, Kelvin, not Fahrenheit, nor centigrade for temperature. Okay. So at this point in time, you can memorize those 3. Well, memorize, you already know about that. No? And remember that we have also temperature, and keep in mind that there are 3 more that are going to talk about. Okay. So here you go. And then what about the primary definitions? Here you go. Remember, we need those ideas here to explain the universe. What about the primary definitions? Okay, there are 2 only. Again, there are not 300 of them, right? So it's very easy to memorize. One of the primary definitions is called position, and we represent it by the letter X. It also has a unit of meter. So in a way, it's related to length. It's not length, it is position. Right? The other idea of physics, the other idea that's core to physics is the idea of force. Okay? A force can be defined as a push or a pull. and the unit of force is the Newton. If you took physics, you already know about this unit. This unit is a composite of the other units. Okay, it's a kilogram meter per second square. You know, it's just like an algebraic equation. That's what Newton is all about. The unit of Newton is all about. We are going to elaborate a little bit more on the force. Not yet, okay? But you don't need to worry about that right now. Eventually, you are going to elaborate more on that. So if you took physics before, you should already be familiar with this unit of force. Okay, so any questions so far? Let's see here. Here you go, that's what I want. Kilogram meters per second square. Okay. Position is nothing more than nothing less than that x-axis that we draw in mass. Okay. We define a origin for the x-axis, and then we describe where along the x-axis a given object is located. So let me illustrate that. You know. Oh, I'm going to Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so in mass, you have learned that you can define something called a Cartesian coordinate system, right? That is represented by a line with an arrow. Here you go. Somewhere along this arrow, this line with an arrow, we choose what we call an origin of your coordinate system, and we label it with the number 0. This is a mathematical concept that we introduce in math, and then we use it in physics. And we also label the axis to x-axis, lowercase x. Because we are physicists, this is a course in physics, we also have to label the unit of measurement of the position. Okay. And then we have a scale all along. You know, if here is 0 meters, the next one maybe is going to be 1 meter. I'm putting a little bit smaller. The next one would be what? Would be 2 meters, right? If I want to keep it nicely spaced, I have to do that. I have to go through this trouble, right? Of ensuring that my coordinate system, and you gotta practice that, okay? If you must have practiced that in physics already. Here you go. In math before, right? You must have practiced that in math before. Here you go. Since I'm doing on PowerPoint, I don't have to draw one by one, right? Here you go. So let's say here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Meters. What you see here is just like the exits in your freeway, okay? If you're driving the freeway, if you drive along the freeway is just like x-axis with the exit numbers being the coordinate of the freeway. Make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's put the 10 here. Next one is going to be the 10. You can draw that in your paper as well to practice. We're going to be using that all the time in physics, coordinate system. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm going to make this guy a little bit larger so you can stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We usually make the 5 a little bit larger too, but not as large as the 0, the origin. And then 1, 2, to make it easier, right, for everybody to read that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 10 here. So the number 10 is going to have the same length as the take of the number 0 right in here. We have positive positions, and we also have what? Negative positions as well. Unlike the length is always positive. So we go right in here, extended, -1, -2, -3, -4 meters. Simple enough. So core basic ideas of physics, right? So far, 4 basic quantities and the position, which is one of the primary definitions. I call it the primary definition. Okay. Laws of physics is a little bit more complicated. Okay, laws of physics is going to be a little bit more complicated because I haven't introduced you to any laws of physics yet. But I can tell you something. One of the greatest contributions that you can make to physics and to mankind in general is to discover a new natural law. When we talk about laws of physics, we're not talking about laws of humans, right? The laws that we create and put in the book to obey, so you have a reasonable life, right? We're not talking about those laws. We're talking about a natural law, a law, that nature follows. A law that nature follows. It's not something arbitrary. Most of the laws that we put in the book are pretty reasonable, right? But every now and then we invent laws that are not reasonable at all. Those are the exceptions, right? But the natural law, is something that nature obeys. Makes sense? And nature means, human beings as well. That's what I want to introduce to you. When you talk about positions, think about the x-axis, right? One of the Cartesian coordinates with an origin, and here you go. That's what you have here. Any questions about that? Does it make sense to you? Especially for you folks that have seen physics before. Okay. I'll let you, I'll allow you to think a little bit about that, to absorb it, right? And at the end, we're going to have a little quiz about this thing here. So be prepared for that. Here you go. Now, when it comes to the laws of physics, there are very few laws of physics. There were very few scientists. There were very few scientists that were capable to formulate a new law of physics. Okay, And nowadays, scientists are trying to come up with a law that they call the law of everything. It's so difficult to discover a law of physics that whoever succeeds in discovering a new law will still remember them today, okay? Nowadays, we have several laws of physics. You're going to learn some of them. And what we want to do today, is to come up with a single law, of physics that encompasses everyone that we already know. We call it the law of everything. We haven't been able to achieve that yet, but hopefully we'll be able to do that. Yeah, it's here. Good. Okay, so any questions about that? Let me ask Mia. Mia, are you there, Mia?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, good. Before you joined us, I was asking every student, have you ever took physics before?
I have not.
No, you haven't done. Okay, good. So let's see how many students we have. 34 right in here. Okay, we have 36. Is there any other student that was not called yet? I have 34 here. We have 35 students in the list. Who was not called or joined later? Me, I know she's here. Okay, Louise, doesn't look like Louise is here. Okay, and let's see. Samuel Sanchez, right? You and Nina, and 1, 2. Is your, if you're looking here, if you're here in the class, Neo Nino is here. Let's see, let's go quickly. And Maria Aguilis. Are you here, Maria? No. Okay. Lucy, Sonny, Julissa, and Samuel. Okay, so you're gonna, if you're here and if you have if you have 0 in your attendance, just let me know, okay? So that's the basic thing that we want to do, that I want to introduce you, okay? And you're going to need that for what we are going to do today. This is supposed to be a lab meeting. So we're going to exercise on the skills that you need for the lab that we're going to do, okay? One of them is how to plot graphs. And I needed to introduce you to those ideas of quantities and units, as well as the primary definition of position. I call it primary. Why do I call it primary? I call it primary because we also have secondary definitions. We have tertiary definitions and so on, okay? We start with those definitions to make other definitions. Position and force are the primary ones. A combination of those two generates also a combination of those definitions plus the basic quantities allows us to define other ideas that are useful in physics. And we're going to get there. So 135 now. Now, there are, let me see, 1, 2 students who didn't show up last time, right? Jade, are you there, Jade and Ashley?
I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is that?
This is Jade.
Okay, good. Do you have you don't have a group, right, Jade?
No.
Okay, so what about Ashley? Ashley, you don't have a group either, right?
No, I don't think so. I missed the last lab.
Yeah, you missed the last time. So let me, I'm gonna create a new group for you. And what I want to do, 2 students, and Erica, are you there, Erica?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Erica, I want to do the following. I want to put you in a group with Jade and Ashley, okay? A separate group. Let's do that. You're going to be group number 9. Okay? Otherwise, Jade and Ashley are going to be in a group of 2. Okay, I'll put it here. Here you go, group number 9. And you can start to exchange contact information between you 3, okay? And I need you to, get in touch with each other through Canvas, exchange your contact information, email address, phone number is necessary. You'll be working together throughout the semester as a group. Okay, and let's see here, I will reorganize. And I will create a group folder, a folder for your group. Just like the other students have a group folder. Now, let's see, data, sort, group. Here you go. Now, we have, I can unbold, there you go. So here you go, and those 3. And let me create your group folder now, group number 9. Let's see. Mm. 2022. New. Group 9. And I'm gonna share, I'm gonna create gonna allow you to access this folder. Okay, the 3 students that are group 9, I'm gonna allow you to edit, okay? Edit the group folder, and I will provide you with a link. Do not share this link with anyone else outside your group, okay? Now, I have the link here for the group folder, and I'm gonna send that to Jade. Jade, share this link with the other 2 students in your group, okay? Please, and keep this link in a safe place. You are gonna need this link. Okay, do you get the link, Jade?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. So are you already in touch with the other 2 students?
Not yet. I
Okay.
will though.
Okay, sure. So, okay, let's make things easier for you. I'm gonna send that to Ashley as well. Okay, I'm gonna send the link to Ashley. Here you go. Okay, Ashley, do you get the link?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm gonna send to Erica. So, Erica Fajardo, here you go. Okay, so now you 3 have the link. Just a matter of now start to talk to each other. Okay. save here is 140 right now. Let's keep on moving forward. Consult your syllabus to know which links you need for the course. What I want to do now, I want to scientific notation, right? Everybody should know scientific notation, right? If you do not know, let me know. And there is also the prefix memorization. Okay, so you can review that. I'm gonna post these notes there in the shareable folder. Okay. Dimensional units and dimensional analysis is one of the topics there that is in the homework. I'm not going to cover that yet, right? But you do know that the dimension of length is going to be the meter. That's what dimensional analysis is all about, right? We analyze the dimensions of certain points. Time is the second, right? You have to memorize that, and then you're going to have other dimensions like velocity and so on. Okay, we're going to get to that. What I want to do now, let us, learn a little bit about Excel and Word, Microsoft Excel and Word. The software that I'm using here is Microsoft Word. This software allows me to type text here, even paste figures right here. Okay, so make sure insert page. Make sure you have both software installed in your computer. But they are a requirement for this course. They are a requirement for this course. Okay. Going back to the syllabus, I'm going to teach you how to plot a graph. I'm going to teach you how to plot a graph. So what you're going to do, you're going to go, since you are in your computer there, you should have a folder for my course, just like I have a folder for this course. Okay. That's, let me organize, yeah, that's the fall semester, year 2022, right? This is physics 6. Do you see here, I have Excel file right in here, which is my attendance grade, right? Attendance and grade file, physics 06 fall 22. I'm gonna create another file. Microsoft, right click, right? New. Microsoft Excel worksheet. That's one way of creating a blank, a blank Microsoft Excel document, Prezi, graph Prezi.
Professor, will you post this graph practice on your Google Docs folder?
Well, I want you to learn how to do that, okay? I want to learn. At the end, yes, I will post for you. But then you have to follow the step-by-step that I'm doing right now, okay? So, create a new file. And I presume everybody has I'm assuming everybody has Microsoft Excel installed in the computer, okay? In the hard drive. Okay, do you have? If you don't have, let me know. You can get a license of Microsoft Excel from the college for a free license if you don't have it, including Word. If you don't have, please let me know. So go ahead, do what I did, go somewhere here in your folder that you use for your course. point your cursor in a blank space of this folder, right click. That's one way of doing that. I am in a Windows computer. Go to new. That's one way again. There's another way. And you're going to have all sorts of possible apps here. Microsoft Access Database, Microsoft Word, and so on. And, choose Microsoft Excel worksheet. That's what I did. Once you have Microsoft Excel worksheet, rename it Graph Praxis. That's what I did here. And then what I'm going to do, you're going to double click, right? Here you go. And that's what you get. You get a blank worksheet, a blank spreadsheet. And I'm going to practice how to plot graphs here. Okay, so everybody got it? Let's see, can we use Google Sheets? Okay, Daisy, Google Sheets is not, doesn't have all the features that Excel has, okay? And sometimes, the Google Studio doesn't get quite there with Google Sheets, and there's still some bugs in there. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as Excel. And it's very important that you create this worksheet in your hard drive, because there's still some bugs there in Google Sheets. One, Google Sheets doesn't have all the features that Excel has, okay? And then working with in the cloud sometimes there are some bugs in there that doesn't allow you to do everything that you're supposed to do, okay? So I recommend that you do that in your hard drive, in your own hard drive. Rename it Graph Proxy. Yeah, you can rename it any name. You can put any name. I put it, what did I put again? I put Graph Proxy, not proxy, right? But Praxi. We are all praxing on the graphs. Okay, everybody is here with me. Where can you get a license for Microsoft Office? Yeah. The college gives away those licenses. You have to inquire there with the college. Okay. And I never had to do that myself because I have my own license here. But every computer nowadays comes with Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. Maybe you already have it there, Elika. Okay. Maybe. Oh, yours expired, right? Yeah, it's possible that yours expired. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. If you go to email, that's right. If you go to the college email system, there might be an option there for you to download those things, right, Bethany? Yeah, I remember seeing that when we were logging in there. Anybody else has any problems with? Let me go one by one, right? I want to make sure that you folks, yeah. Since I already have my Excel, license here, my computer never had to do that from the college. But yeah, the college has this type of software there that allows you to have a free license. Let me go one by one, make sure that you all got Excel installed there. Excel software. So let's see, Neil is not here, right? Let's start with Vanessa Boniga. Do you have Excel, Vanessa?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. That's next is McKean, right? Curto?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Good. Fisher. Are you there, Fisher? Do you have Excel? Okay, so I'm gonna put yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, if you don't answer, I'm gonna put a star here in your attendance, right? just to let you know that you are away from your computer or you didn't answer my question. So here you go. Blessing, do you have Excel, Blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, great. Okay, thank you. Janet, do you have Excel? Okay, I don't hear from Janet. Okay, I'm gonna put a question mark here and then I'll. Wendy, do you have Excel?
Yes, I do, Professor.
Good, thank you. Ryan?
Yes, I do have Excel.
Good. Mia, thank you. Hi, Mia. Mia just joined us.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do. Okay, great. Now, Raymond Garcia. Yes, okay, good. Some of you already have experience with Excel, right? But some of you don't have experience with Excel. So for those who have experience, it's gonna be easy what you're going to do. Okay, for those that don't have experience, you're gonna learn something new. It's very easy to work with Excel. Donovan Harris.
Yes, sir, I have Excel, sir.
Good, thank you. Joshua Jimenez.
Yes, I have Excel. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
you
it.
do. Good, thank you. Luis is here. Luis. Okay, Luis is not here. Lily, you has, good. Michael
Yes,
has,
I have.
Yes.
yes, okay. Daisy? Yes, good. Donia?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Ana Lopez? Good, most of you apparently. Mary Okeki? You can answer in the chat window, Mary. I don't hear you. Ana Lopez, okay, I'm gonna put a question mark here. So Jennifer Perez?
Yes, I have it.
Okay, good. Elika?
Working on it.
Working on it, okay. So I'm gonna put a 0 here for now, okay? Yeah, download it, right? And Bethany,
Yeah, I have it.
good. Arthur,
Yes, I have it.
okay. Brianna Valencia, in this
Yes, I have
meantime,
it.
you do have, right, Brianna?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good, one. Pedro Ruiz,
I'm working on it.
working on it, okay. So for now, I'm gonna put a 0 here, and even better, so it doesn't, working, right? Working.
Yeah.
Erika Fajardo. Let me see. No, you're at the end, okay, Erika? You're at the end because you're on group 9 now. The students are now, sorted out by group number. So hang in there. I'll get to you, okay, Erika? Basilio Lopez. Yes, good. Bahag. Yeah, great. Alejandra,
Yes, I do.
you do great. Amarilis. Good. Elika. Which group are you, Elika? Five. Okay, so let me see. Elika. 5. Yes, working. Okay, good. Now Elika got it. Great. And let me see. Janet Garcia, right? Did I get to you already, Janet? Which group are you, Janet? Group 1. Let's see here. Group 1. Janet, I don't see Janet Garcia in group 1. No, you're group 2, okay? You're not group 1. Okay. Okay, so you do, okay, you got it. Thank you, Janet. Let's see who else. Louise, doesn't look like Louise. Mary, I haven't heard from Mary yet. Pedro is working on that, right? Whenever you manage to install, let me know. Amarilis, do you have Amarilis? Don't think I asked.
No.
No, okay. Are you working on that? Make sure you work on that, download it, right?
Okay.
Just like the other students, try to interact with your group members so they can help you out. You have 3 students in your group that already have Excel. Okay, Justina,
Yes, I have it.
you do, good. Yesenia Montes Rodriguez, good. Most of you have, huh? That's good. Lady Lud. Okay, you have it, great. Lydia Rosas Buenrostro. Yeah, one more, Jade.
I have it.
Okay, group number 9, Ashley Diaz. Good, thank you, Jade.
Oh,
Ashley?
yes, I have Excel.
Okay, now Erica. Do you have Excel, Erica?
I'm working on it.
You're working. Okay, I'm gonna put here working. Okay, it's 1:57 right now, right? We have been here for more than 1 hour. Let's take a little break. So during this break, if you still don't have Excel, make sure you install that in your computer during the break. It might be easy to do that. Right now, the student did it right away. And I'll talk to you. Let's see here. Let me adjust my clock here. So it's 10 o'clock right now, right? Yeah, it's 10 o'clock right now in California. Adjust date and time. Let me adjust my time here so I don't get confused with the time zone. It's gonna be, see, I'm in Brazilia's time. Let's go to Pacific time. And now my computer says it's 9:58. Okay, so going back here to the notes, break till 10:15. And if you not have, again, if you don't have Excel, make sure, take advantage of this break to install it so you can start practicing it, okay? So I see you at 10:15. It's just a break, okay? So let's go, let's see. Okay. Zoom recording. Just remember, right? This is stuff I have already recorded before in previous courses. You might want to go through my YouTube channel to find out, especially the earlier recordings. When I mean early recordings, the recordings that were recorded earlier in the semester. Everything that we are doing here, has been covered in those recordings that are already in my YouTube channel. So let's continue what we are doing here. Okay, go. Graph practicing. What we are going to do, we're just practicing with graphs. Since I introduced you to the core ideas of physics, right? To the basic ideas of physics, basic quantities, primary definitions. We're going to start with a plot of the position of an object against time. Okay, so here you go. Let's go back to our PowerPoint that I have here. Here you go. I'm gonna duplicate this slide. Oh, what's going on here? Go, I'm gonna duplicate this slide. So suppose that at a given instant of time, we have an object that I'm going to represent. I'm going to represent as a point. Here we go. No, not this one. This one here. Drawing. Here you go. That's PowerPoint. This is also a Microsoft software. I don't like this blue color that Microsoft Word has in their drawing. So I always have to change it to black. That must be a way to, to set it to black as a default. The default of my software here in PowerPoint is blue. For those like, I don't like it, that blue color, and always make it blue. One day I will find out how to make the black the default color in PowerPoint. So until then, I'll have to keep on changing over and over again. Okay, so let's say that's a type of problem that we're going to do in our lecture as well. Okay, so I give an instant of time. We have this object, a point, right? That's the position x equal to 0, and I'll give an instant of time. I mean a time t equal to 0. Okay, a time t equal to 0. Suppose, right? I have something like that. I'm providing with some data. And then what we're going to do, we're going to plot the position of this object as time goes by, just for practice purposes. Right? So let's see. At time, and then I'm going to say a time t equal to 1 second, this object moved from one position to another one. Okay, do you see that? I like to think of this PowerPoint, this set of PowerPoint slides, my movie. Right? So here you go. I have this very first one, right? I'm gonna put it at the black. Like I told you, I don't like the blue color. In the next slide, we have this object placed at the origin. At t equal to 1 second, the object moved to the position 1 meter. And I'm going to go even further. I should have done that before. I'm going to put 5 meters here, so you know. You don't repeat. You must not repeat the unit here in the axis, because you already have the unit documented here. See that? Here's 5 meters, right? If you put the 5 meters here, I'm going to think that the unit of this position is going to be meter square. So that's incorrect to repeat the unit if you already have the unit right in here in parentheses in the label of your axis. Okay? So if this one is 5, right? The other one here is going to be 10, right? You don't have to put every one, because now you already have an idea that if you have 5 here and 10 here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, it means that this one is going to be 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, and so on. Right? And let's not forget that's -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, that's 1 second. Here you go. Axis, 0 seconds, 1 second. The next one is going to be 2 seconds. So let's say this point here can be your car moving the freeway, or can be even you jogging. Yeah, it's more reasonable if it's you're jogging, right? This point is yourself jogging on the beach, because car doesn't move that slow as I am depicting here. Here is going to be 3 seconds, right? And I'm going to move, and so on. Did you get the idea? So I'm just providing you with data that we are going to plot in that graph. The experiments that we are going to do, we're going to have this similar type of data like that. Here is going to be 4 seconds. Okay, and so on. Let's play the movie. I like to say that I'm playing the movie here. Okay, just the axis, x-axis, Now the x-axis with the car or the jogger in the origin of your x-axis. 1 second later, the jogger moved 1 meter, moved another meter, right? And so on. So we're going to use this data to plot a graph. Going back to our graph, you can go ahead. You're going to label. Oh, by the way, we are going to plot the position versus time. Okay. We will now, here you go, we will now plot the position of the car, this slash jogger, right? Can be the jogger as well. Let's put jogger here. Versus time in Excel. We also represent that X versus T. When you represent X versus T, what does it mean? This means that X will be plotted along the Y-axis and T along the X-axis. Okay. X versus T. In Excel, in Excel, whatever goes along the X-axis, we're talking about the X, there is the X-axis and there is the X position, right? This is the X position here. Whatever goes along the X-axis is the values in the first column. That's something that took me a long time to understand. And let me see, whatever goes along is the values in the, not in the first column, but in the column that is to the left of the other one we are plotting. Okay, we're going to understand what I mean. So what does it mean? To plot X in the Y-axis and T along the X-axis. So to plot X along the position, right? The position X. To plot the position X along the Y-axis and the instant of time T along the X-axis, we have to write down the values of T in a column that is to the left of the X position, the left of the column of the X position column. Okay. So we have our data, we have our set of data. I'm going to put that in a table in Excel. Here you go, our set of data. Okay, first you put the labels here on the column. Here you're going to write down your instant of time T. And here you're going to write down your position X. Okay. Notice that I'm putting all the units there. In physics, you have to put all the units all the time. At time T equal to 0, right? We know we have a given position. At time T equal to 1, we have another position. At time T equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, right? The position at time T equal to 1, you saw that was position 0. 0 meters. At time T equal to 1 second was 1 meter. 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, 6 meters. The numbers here coincide, okay? But they're not the same quantities because one is in second and the other is in meter. Okay, so I want you to do that and go even further, you know, bold face it so you can look nice, right? So this table can look nice. Tables are very useful features because they allow you to extract data in a very quick way, not just tables, but also graphs. To make it look even nicer, I'm going to, you know, put thick borders around this table. If I want to see the thick borders, I have to move my tables a little bit. Now you can see the thick borders, right? I want to put another thick border just for aesthetic purposes. Okay. Now you have my table of data. And I'm going to, what else I'm going to do? I'm going to copy this table and put that in my Word document. Here you go. Using snipping tool. Using snipping tool here you go. Everybody should have this snipping tool in their computer. See, I copied my table. I'm going to put it here. You go. That's how my table looks like. That is how my table looks like in Excel. And that's how your table should look like as well. And I'm going to center justify it. Right here, you go. Position, instant of time. Next, we'll plot our graph. Remember? Everything that's to the left of the order, you will end up in the x-axis. It's the t that's going to end up in the x-axis, whereas the x position will end up in the y-axis when you plot in Excel. That's the default of Excel, okay? Next, we'll plot our graph. By default, everything that is, you know, every number, right? Every values that are along the column that is left to the order will be plotted on the x-axis. You're going to see that right now. I will highlight this table. You can highlight the letters with it, right? The heading of the table. That's okay. What you cannot do is highlight this additional cell here, okay? Or you can just highlight just the numbers. Either way works. Okay, I like to highlight the headings of the table, and we're going to plot now. That's spelled out in my syllabus. If you read my syllabus, let's go get the syllabus. Everything that we're doing here is spelled out in the syllabus. Let's see, not this one. That's not the syllabus either. Here you go, that's the syllabus. Graphs, right? Here you go. Graphs, graphs, if any. You know, the graphs must be cleaned and planned. Okay. So let's continue. Right? I am in Excel. I highlighted my two columns. And I'm gonna plot my graph. You'll go to insert. Make sure you take notes, right? Then there is a place here on insert that you have charts. See that in Excel? That's what you're going to be using to plot graphs. Everything else you don't have to worry about. The charts, there are all sorts of charts. See here? The chart that you're going to be using is this one right here. Okay, we call it the scatter plot. And within scatter plot, there are all sorts of formats of a scatter plot. Scatter plot that you don't connect any lines, scatter plot that you connect lines between the points, but the lines are not straight lines. Plots with no data points, but just the lines, right? Plots with the data points and lines connecting them, right? And just plots without the data point and just the line. What I want you to use is this one here. Don't use the others. Don't use the others. Always use the scatter plot with no lines between data points, okay? There is a linear relationship between those two values, right? One is proportional, linearly proportional to the other. That's why you end up getting this straight line. Okay, so that's what the graph that we got. Any questions? Everybody's doing that? Everybody's following that? So let's summarize here so far before I go too fast, right? First, open Microsoft Excel, right? 2, type the key values in one of the columns. 3, type the X position values, right? Put the X position, so you don't confuse that with the X-axis position values. In another column to the right of the first one. Okay. 4, highlight the 2 columns. 5, after highlighting, after highlighting, what do you do? Go to insert, right? To the insert, click on insert at the top of the spreadsheet, right? 6, step by step, insert, and go to the chart panel. Not this one. Go to the chart panel. Go to the chart panel. Choose the scatter plot. Highlight the scatter plot option that appears only with the data points. Okay, so we have at this point in
Professor,
time.
question. Sorry.
Yeah.
How did you get it to be the different colors again? Because I have it, but I have it on a Apple computer. Yours looks like a Windows. So how did you color it like purple, red, and blue again? Would you be able to
You
show
mean
me?
those colors here?
Yes.
On the table?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
yes?
yeah. That's what I'm asking. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. That's the, I didn't color it. It's the computer program who does that. If I click, look what happened. I'm gonna click outside the graph. Do you see that my graph is highlighted here?
Yes,
see
I
that?
see.
Okay, I'm gonna click outside the graph. Watch what happens here. The program does all of that for me, okay? It's the program that chooses what the colors are. I don't choose the colors. What happens to the colors here?
It goes away.
They go away, right? I'm gonna click back on the graph. See that?
Oh, that's so cool. Thank
Yeah.
you. I thought when you did the graph, I thought you when you clicked the chart, I thought you clicked also something for color. So I was like, I don't have that on my computer. So that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Let's see. I believe I did that in PowerPoint, not here. See that? Is that the one you're talking about? The color that I did,
Yeah.
the color that I changed was in PowerPoint, not in Excel. Okay. Make sense? So that's a different software. That's a different software. So we are talking about Excel. We're going to use all the time. Word, we're going to use all the time. And we have this PowerPoint software as well that Microsoft has. You don't have to use PowerPoint. You know, I like to use PowerPoint because, you know, it's nice to draw in there, and they keep a you know, a document there saved for the future, right? So 3 different softwares, right? I'm going to click again. Here you go. Right? If you want to, you can change this color too. See those blue dots, but we're not going to get into that yet. Otherwise, it's too much for you. Okay? Like I said, I don't like this blue color. You know, this blue color, I don't know. Looks like too inky for me. You know, I like the black. You know, the black color there. But I'll leave this way so I don't overwhelm you with more information that you need for now. Okay? Than you need for now. Any more questions? Okay, what we are going to do next? Okay, what we're going to do next? I'm going to, you know, work on the graph so it looks nicer than that. One thing that I don't like about Excel is that they put this X here at the top, right? Whatever goes to the y-axis, they put it here. I don't like it. That's the graph label. I don't like it. So I take it out. But now there is something missing in this graph. I do not know what is going on there. If you're looking at the graph alone, right? If you're looking at the graph alone, oops, without the table, you do not know what's placed on the y-axis. You do not know what's placed in the x-axis. So you must label the axis. Okay, so the next step here in our okay, you have the plot. You have your, you know, plot, your unfinished plot. But let's say you have like already 60–70% of everything. At this point, you have 60 to 70% of everything. Now we're going to make our plot look better with the proper information there, with the proper pieces of information there. Okay. What we're going to do? We are going to add the labels to the graph. Okay, to the axis of the graph, to the axis of the graph. Don't forget we have 2 axes. 2 axes. How do we do that, right? You have to do it all the time in my labs. In my labs, you have to do that all the time. Because that's the proper way of presenting a graph. I got rid of the graph title, right? I don't like that. I recommend that you don't use either. Right? And so what we're going to do to put the axis of the title of the axis, you're going to click the graph. You gotta click the graph, and here you go. We are going to, let's see, home here. No, it's not home. Let's see if I have. Oh, let's see. It is in the syllabus. Okay, must be clean. Do not clicking on the points. Let's see. Okay, that's further down the line. Okay, so let's close that. Now we need to put the, oh yeah, here you go. I want you to see something very important. Even myself, I forget about those things sometimes, you know. So note, see what happened. Note, see here at the top. You know, you already saw what happens if I click the graph, right? You already saw what happens to the table when I click the graph, right? Excel highlight those data points that are being plotted. That's what Excel does. Okay. But something else happens when you click on the graph. Watch out here at the top. When I click on the graph, Excel adds those two options here on the bar: chart design and format. Okay. I want to label the axis of my graph. I want to label the axis of my graph. So what do? I'm going to click on chart to design. In order to label the axis of my graph, I click on the chart to design. And we go to the left, to the extreme left of the panel, and I'm going to add a chart element. Do you see that? At this point in time, it should be at the same spot that I am. Okay, add the chart element. There's a little downward arrow here. Okay, and you have axis, you have axis title, you have chart title. See, remember the chart title, the one that I deleted. See, this one is highlighted, right? Data labels. You can put labels in your data if you want. Error bars, blah blah blah. You want to concentrate on this one. Axis title. Okay. Primary horizontal. Do you see here the axis title right here on the x-axis? And then, oh, not this one. Primary vertical. See that? Axis title here. Axis title here. Right? And now you're going to go ahead and you write down what goes here on the axis title. It's going to be lowercase t seconds. Okay, if you want to make it look nice, you're going to, I recommend that you boldface it. You are going to, I like to italicize to make it look nice, both the t and the second. But I think it's too small, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to increase the size of this font. I think that this font is too small. So I'm going to increase the size of this font. I'm going to make it like 14, right? Maybe this one is too small too. Right now it's 10, right? Size 10. Let's see, size 10. No, it's size 9, even smaller. Let's make it 12. Okay. And I'm going to make it boldface as well. Boldface. I don't know how. We don't have boldface here. I can make it boldface from elsewhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, here you go. Click on this guy, right? And boldface right here. I'm going to make this one 12 again also. Font size 12. Here you go. And boldface it. So you can stand out. Is everybody on the same page here as I am? And then you gotta label this other axis. What is the size that I put it here? I put 14. I'm gonna put 14 here as well. When you highlight this little box, you can see that this type of open shows up, right? Here you go, X, and then you write it down X. X between parentheses, meter. Just like before, I'm going to boldface. Okay. And if you want to italicize to look nicer, italicize it, italicize the meter. Don't italicize the parentheses, or it's not gonna look nice. Okay. A little bit of space. So that's how you plot your graph. Do you see that now? Any questions? Let's see. Let's see if there is any questions here in the chat box. Anybody? Are you following? It's very important that you're at the same spot that I am right now. Initially, I had number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But now the software changes. Sometimes it does that change it automatically without you know. Now I have 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. That created a problem. That created a problem on my graph. What problem it created? It created this huge blank space that doesn't do anything to us, has no data here whatsoever. So you have to try to get rid of this huge blank space. Okay, you don't have to get rid of everything by cutting down here. You know, all you got to do is to cut down half of this blank space. And how do you do that? Okay, you are going to be required to optimize the graph space in this course. You're going to be required to optimize the graph space in this course. So what do? You double click here. Oh, double click here in the axis. Okay. And then when you double click in the axis, there you go. I'll get that. You get this pane here on the right side. This pane right here. I'm gonna close it. Okay, so you're gonna see it again. Double click, and you get this pane here on the right side. Do you see we have axis option here? The axis option goes from 0 to 8. I don't want from 0 to 8. Because it's going from 0 to 8, we create this huge blank space here. I want it to go from 0 to 7. Okay, minimum 0, maximum 7. And the units too, it shows that the major units is 2. See that? We can control the major units here. Here, because the major units is 2, we have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's change the major units, not to 2, but to 1. Okay, and now your graph automatically resize it all the way up to 0 to 7. So that huge blank space that we have here, because the graph was displayed until 8, is no longer here. So now this graph looks better than the previous one, right? Compare the previous one. Here you go. The previous one looked like that, right? And now, because I changed the major units, it starts to look like that. It looks like that now. Any questions?
Professor, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want it to be like that with where it shows each individual unit, or did you like it the other way where it went from 0 to 8?
No, I don't like from 0 to 8, right? I'm going to go back to 0 to 8, right? See how it looks. We have this huge blank space that's not doing anything for us and doesn't make the graph looks like odd, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay.
I'll be correcting those graphs, okay? And I'll be taking out points from you if you display, you know, this huge blank space here. I'm going to exaggerate now so you can understand what I really means. Sometimes I see graphs like that from students, okay? Do you like this graph here?
No, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, so it's worse than 8, right? Going to 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than going to 8, right?
Correct.
See this huge space here. So you can control that on this pane, right? By double click on the axis. You can do the same for the y-axis as well. Now I'm gonna go back to 1 to 7, right? The one that I like better. Distributed better. Oh, no, it didn't do it. Okay. See, it didn't do it. It added the major, right? The major units here. So right now Excel didn't do that. I do not know why. I was expecting it to resize the axis again automatically, but it didn't resize. If it doesn't resize, then you have to do that. You have to manually resize it yourself. I'm gonna put 7 here. Okay. Is that the first time you folks are all seeing that? Or some of you are seeing that for the first time? Some of you already know about that. Let me get some, you know, feedback from you. Who's seen that for the first time? How to plot graphs? My first time. Okay, nice to know. So, first time too. Okay. No, okay, Erika. So you're already familiar with that, right, Erika? photograph, but not with this much detail. I see. Okay. Basilio, okay. Thank you for sharing that with us, Basilio. Not first time. Okay, Bethany, so you must be an expert on Excel already, right, Bethany? Here you go. First time, yeah. Oh, when you took the statistics, yeah, that's right. So now we're going to apply our statistics to physics. Yeah, first time. Yeah, if you took a statistic, most likely you already know that. In the past, when we didn't have this type of software during my time, right? I'm 59 years old. Think about that. You know, I was sitting down there in the classrooms there here in Brazil, back in undergraduate work. Back in 1981, I was doing my undergraduate degree here in Brazil, 1981 to 1984. At that time, we didn't have personal computers here in Brazil. Personal computer was starting to come into the market, okay? And I started to see personal computers there in my university, but I didn't have access to them because they were reserving the personal computers only to certain students. We had the mainframes, you know, they let us use the mainframes. And because we didn't have this type of software at that time, we had to do all of that by hand, okay? We had to do all of that by hand. Ruler, paper, pencil, eraser, and pen sometimes. Draw the x-axis, draw the y-axis. Get the table, label by hand X, label by hand T, parentheses, units, right? Think about doing that by hand, you know, and then put all the points at the proper coordinate, right? Think about how long it would take us to do that. Okay. Not the first time for Lydia, right? First time, oh, most of them. I would say it looks like 60% is first time, right? Some of you have seen before. Okay, half and half, let's say. Okay, so there's more. There's more we can do with Excel. You're gonna be doing that as well. Everybody has this graph like that. Does it look exactly like that in your spreadsheet, in your computer there? It's important that you do that, okay? Yeah. Yeah, yes. Good. Good. Raymond, that's good. Erica, yeah. Who's falling behind? Make sure you don't fall behind because there's more to come, right? This right now, I would say 70% of the graph, 60 to 70% of the graph. Okay, Wendy, thank you. What's next that you gotta do? Then that's where the heavy statistics comes. If you took a statistics course, most likely you already seen that before in your statistic course. We do that in physics as well. Okay, now we're going to, and that's spelled out in the syllabus. That's where it starts to be spelled out in the syllabus. Yeah, that's the point that I spelled out in the syllabus. Okay, up to now I didn't spell it out in the syllabus. Okay, up to now I didn't spell it out in the syllabus. Let's go through the syllabus. Graph. The graph must be clean and planned to optimize the space. No large blank areas in the graph, right? Just like, and then you work out the proper way to ensure that there's no blank areas in the graph. In the graph or on the graph, right? On the graph. Here you go. I will determine the grade, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? If you put too many blank space there, I'm going to take out points from your graph. You must label the axis of the graph with their proper quantities in their corresponding units between parentheses. And I subtract points if you don't put the labels on the axis. Ensure the numbers along the axis are properly spaced and not encroached on each other so they can be read properly. Let me tell you what I mean, okay? Right now, the numbers are not encroached on each other, right? But there is a way to encroach them all. Okay, and every now and then I see that. If the major units are too small, what's gonna happen to the spacing between the numbers in the x-axis? They're gonna get very close to each other, right? If you go another step, make even smaller the major units, what's going to happen? Yeah, they get encroached with each other. See, now they're so encroached that you cannot even see which number is which. Watch for that. Watch for that. Excel sometimes does that to you. And you have to ensure that Excel display it in the proper way. Did you get the idea? I'm going to undo, right? Control Z, you go, oops, no, it didn't undo. Let's see, now it's going to undo. Okay, that's what way I had just before, right? They became heavily encroached. And that's what I have at the beginning, the ideal way of plotting or of spacing the numbers along the axis. Oh, let's see, not this one. I want syllables, right? Here you go. Do not connect each data point with straight lines. Instead, fit the best average curve to this data. That's where the heaviest statistics come. Okay, there is a mathematical technique to determine what type of equation fits your graph. You already know that a linear equation, okay? You already know this one is a linear equation. If you are good at math, you know that this graph is going to be y equal to x, right? Because what's along the x-axis is equal what's along the y-axis, right? 0 and 0, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, right? But for more complicated graph like we're going to see during the semester, you know, you cannot guess. It's going to be difficult for you to guess, to figure out what's going to be the equation for the graph. So you have to use this mathematical technique that's to fit the proper equation to your graph. Okay. This the name of this technique in statistics, okay, is called the method of the least squares. The method of the least square. All right. They teach you how to do that. I'm not going to cover that here because it's too much. And Excel already had that programmed into that. I'm going to show you how to determine how to use the method of the least square using Excel. Okay. So the equation for this graph, how are you going to do? Okay. So follow the syllabus. Click one of the data points. Okay. Do you see what's happening here? I'm going to do that again. Before, we didn't click on the data points. We just clicked it on the graph, right? When we click on the graph became highlighted and also the data became highlighted. But if you click on the data points, yeah, the table is going to become highlighted as well. The graph is going to become highlighted as well. But on the top of that, all the data points become highlighted. That's a very important difference between click anywhere on the graph and click on of the data points. Okay, you are going to need that to find the equation of this graph to fit what we call the regression equation, the closest equation possible to this data point that you see here, to this set of data points that you see here. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to close the span. I'm going to click on one of the data points. Okay, everything gets highlighted. What do we do next? You hover your mouse to the data, one of the data points again, and you right click here, and you don't have many selections. You have a few selections here. Okay. Do you see anything here that says, you know, regression equation here? I told you that we are going to plot the regression equation, right? Nothing here, right? That says regression equation, right? But there is something closer to that. There is something that we call trend line. See that? Add trend line. When you add the trend line, you are going to display the regression equation. Okay? So let's do that again. Let me see. There's a student here. Oh, the tab on the right doesn't show up for me. Do you have a Macintosh, Erica? Do you have a Mac there? Yeah, that's why. Mac is a little bit different, okay? You will have, I don't have a Mac here, so I cannot demonstrate that for you. So you have to look, I believe, I'm trying to recall here by heart. I believe in the Mac, you have a plus sign here on the top of the graph. See if you see it. I believe that's okay. Oh, here you go. Even Microsoft Excel. Yeah. See the plus sign here? Yeah. Not only have the chart elements, but you also have the trend line. Okay. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Erica. So let's go back to the trend line and the regression equation, right? Our break's coming, but I want to finish it before our break. Click on all the data points, highlight all the data points, right click, highlight add trend line. Okay, add trend line. And now see that you have all those options for your regression equation. You have exponential, you have linear, you have logarithmic, you have polynomial of order whatever, right? Here you go, order 2 in this case, power moving average. Ah, I see the option on the right is hidden at first. Yeah, watch for that. Watch out for that, right, Basilio? Were you able to see it? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes Excel has those. You know, those softwares are very powerful tools, right? But for some reason they never get it. You know, completely right, huh? Right? But it's true. They're very powerful tools. Okay. By default, the trend line is already, the linear trend line is the one that's already chosen, but you can, you know, change it. Okay. Sometimes you'll be able to change to a different trend line. Sometimes you won't. You know, all going to be dependent on the trend line that you're asking. In the case, for instance, of the logarithmic trend line, I cannot fit a logarithmic trend line here. Why is that? I cannot fit a logarithmic trend line because I have a data point that's equal to 0. Okay, 0, 0. There is no such a point in the logarithmic scale in which the x is 0 and the y is 0 simultaneously. Okay, polynomial, you can put a polynomial there. Okay, and the linear equation is just a special case of a polynomial. Okay, but let's stick to the linear case. Most of our graph is going to be linear. If we get a graph that's not linear, I will let you know. Okay? Do you see that now we have our trend line here following the data points, right? That happened when we added the trend line, but we still do not have the equation. We still do not have the equation. Okay, we still do not have the equation. How do I display the equation? I'm gonna go down here, scroll down. Do you see trend line is automatic? I can make my costume. Don't worry about the costume trend line. Just keep. But here you go. We have now those 3 options. We never use this one. We never set the intercept. But we do display the equation chart. Here you go. So Microsoft Excel is smart enough to allow you to calculate an average equation, an average mathematical equation to your set of data points. Okay? Right? Let's go back. There's one more thing that's missing. Here is what we call the regression equation, right? The best fit to your set of data points. Now we're going to need something else. This is a statistical concept. It's a statistical idea. We're going to need something else. We're going to need a measure of how close this equation is to your set of data points. Okay, this measure, it doesn't, let's see here. This measure has a name. I'll have to delete this guy, okay? It's not behaving. Here you go. Now let's try it again. I have gotta delete this guy. Do that too, okay? Click the data point again. Oh, okay, now it's behaving. Right click, add trend line, right? Add trend line. Display equation chart. And what else I'm gonna ask you from you? I'm gonna ask you to display the R-square value on chart. Those two, don't check this one. Not only you have your equation here, you're going to have your R-square value as well. Okay? This R-square value is a statistical parameter that we call the determination coefficient. If you took a statistics, you may have already heard of this determination coefficient, right? If you haven't heard from the determination coefficient, you have heard the correlation coefficient. What is this coefficient all about? What's this statistical concept all about? Okay, we're going to talk about that soon after our break, right? Because I'm starting to get burned out here. And most likely you're starting to get burned out there too, because lots of information like that can do that for you, right? Want to take a break now? It's 11:10, right? In California. And if you felt a little bit behind, you have the opportunity to catch up during this break, right? Right? Let's have our break. Here we go. My notes, lecture notes, break from 11:10 to 11:25. And let's see if you do a little quiz at the end in the remaining 30 minutes, so you can test your knowledge, so you can test what you absorbed during this meeting today. Okay. Okay, so Alejandra, just as let's see here. Thank you for letting me know, Alejandra. Okay, so we go 11:10 right now, and I'm gonna turn off my video, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. I'm gonna mute myself as well. Okay, I'm back here. Okay, 11:25. Let's see what else is left for us to do here. Yeah, let me just brief you here in this finished briefing on the R square, and then I'm gonna do a quick quiz. Okay, I want you to participate on that. And are you ready for the quiz? Right, you know, I'm gonna give a little bit more of time to, you know, to brief you on R square value, and then we can do the quiz. So it's gonna be something simple. I don't want to stress you out. And at the same time, I'm doing those quick quiz for this first time. Okay, if you go to Canvas, make sure you go to Canvas and see, notice if you see that quiz 1, 2, and 3. Okay, go there and see if you can see something like that. It's just one question that I'm going to display here in my. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not sharing the screen, right? Now let's see here. I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, now I'm sharing the screen. And I need to start recording, right? Okay, it's already recording. Okay. Yeah, it's recording. So this is gonna be just a praxis type of quiz, you know? So I don't want you to stress out on that. Just make sure that it goes smoothly for everybody, not just for you, but for me as well. Everybody can see the quiz in there? Well, you know, you should be able to see something like that. You know, the quiz is gonna be like 5 minutes for you to answer. Okay, it's already available, but I still didn't write down the question. Okay, I still didn't write down the question. Okay, I'm gonna write down the question here on the fly on my screen, and then you're gonna be able to click which one you want to, you know, you think is the right one, right? So let me see here. Yep, Basilio, yes, yes, yeah, good. So this one, let's do this way. If you don't do it, I'm not gonna penalize you. If you do it, I'll give a little bit of a extra credit, okay? Just to test everything is going smoothly. It's not, you know, it's not gonna be too much of an extra credit. You know, I'll give like a, let's see, 1 point, right? 1 point of extra credit. Okay, here you go. 1 point of extra credit. For the 3 quizzes we are gonna do. How many students we have? We have 31 students. Ready? Okay, so let's see. It's 11:29. I'll have to change some of. Hey, let me change some of the settings here. The quiz. Otherwise, there won't be enough time for you to do it. Quiz. I don't have to do that. What am I doing here? Quiz here. Okay, I'm gonna change the setting here for this quiz. It is, oh, I don't want to resume the quiz. Yeah, leave student view. I'm on student view. I have to get out of this student view. Okay, now I can add it the way I want. Good. So I'm gonna give you a little bit more of time. It is 11:30 right now, right? Available from until do. Okay, I gotta put it a little bit later. Let's do 11:40. So I have 5 minutes to formulate the question, and you have another 5 minutes to answer the question. Okay, it's 11:31 right now. It's already available. Well, that's okay, Fisher. I'm not gonna penalize you for that. Yeah, don't start the quiz yet. I'll let you know, okay? Unless, let me see. I'm gonna give you a little bit more of time. Well, that's okay. You know, you can skip this first quiz, okay, Fisher? I'm not gonna penalize you for that. Let me save that. And it's already published. And I'm going to ask you a quick question, okay? Okay, how many core ideas are there in physics? According to today's lecture, okay? How many core ideas are there in physics, okay? So A would be 3, right? B would be 1. Oops, only 1. Would be 2. D would be 4, and we have a 0. 0 ideas. Okay. No. Don't answer in the chat. You gotta go on. Okay. You don't have any choice here, right, Fisher? I want everybody to do that. We have until what, 11:40 to answer that question, right? So be prepared for quiz number 2, okay, Fisher? So you don't get in the same trouble that you got into. Don't start the quiz until I formulate the question, right? Yeah, go ahead. Here you go. Don't start the quiz until I formulate the question. Already formulate the question for you. The question is not going to show up there in the quiz one. You have to look at the screen here. Okay. Don't start the quiz until I formulate the question. Okay, this one's quiz 1. Quiz 1, right? Question 1. So you go ahead. Yeah, this is for quiz 1. That's right. And you have until another 7 minutes, right? Another 7 minutes to do it. Which option would that be the best one? And then, let me see how is. We're just testing this, type of quiz. Make sure everything works fine. Everybody got the answer already? Here's the quiz. I can moderate the quiz right here. Okay, many of you have already have already finished. Some of you didn't do it. See, I can keep that as a record of whether you're participating or not. Okay.
Professor.
Yeah.
Professor, the question is not showing on my on the quiz 1 question is not showing on my screen.
That's right.
think I probably opened it before you put the question.
Yeah, that's on purpose. Okay. The question you read here from this highlighted text here in my screen. If you go in Canvas, I don't spell out the question. You have to read the question here in my screen. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I see.
That's how you do it. And this is just a practice. I'm not gonna punish you for that. So you get familiar with the system, right? I don't want to write down the question there in the quiz, but you have it here in the screen. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So you guide yourself by whatever is written here. Okay. So hey, girl, how is that? Yeah, we have 4 more minutes to go, right? 4 more minutes would be 11:40. Oops. There you go. I didn't formulate quiz 2 yet. Okay, at 11:36. It looks like it is small time. 4 minutes look short, right? But under those circumstances, they seem awfully long. Let's see how it's.
Professor,
Yeah,
for quiz 2, we're not doing that today, are we?
not yet, not yet. I'm waiting
Okay.
for the time to expire so we can do quiz 2, okay?
So we are doing quiz 2 today.
Yeah, we're doing. I'm just waiting for, you have until 11:40, right, to do the quiz. And let me adjust the time for quiz number 2. It's a learning experience even for me to do a quiz like that. I'm doing that for the first time. I had this idea of doing the quiz in this way. Okay, that's the quiz number 1. That's the quiz number 2. Let me adjust the time here for this one. Edit. Let's see, the number 1 finish at 11:40. So I'm going to make this one finish at 11:50, okay? Done. Okay, and I gotta save it. Huh? Why is that? Okay, yeah. Canvas has this funny thing. Oh, why? Let's see. Do. Okay, that's why. You gotta put it 50 here. Oh, I mixed up. Done. This one available from 11:40. Yeah. So kind of you have, and then I'm gonna save it. Okay, now it seems fine. And then let's wait until 11:40. 1 more minute to go. Let's see how quiz 1 is doing. You should have, I can, like I said, I can moderate this quiz to see, oh, okay, now we have more people that are attempting the quiz. Okay, good. Attempts left. Score some of you. Okay, so let's 11:40 now, right? So let's formulate quiz number 2 now. At this point in time, many of you have been able to answer the quiz. Okay. 11:40. So let's go to another one. Let's see here. Let me see one thing. Okay, here you go. How many? Sorry, let me share it again. Okay, here you go. I'll put it here. One. Okay, so how many basic quantities are there in physics? Okay, so you have all those options. You have until 11:50 to answer that. Let's see here. Let's see, will be both. Yeah, I will. Yes, I will. So here go. Let's see. You'll be posting the correct answer, or is the correct answer already chosen in the quiz? Are the answers for the quiz already finalized, or are you going to go back and do according to what you type on the screen? So I'll tell you what the correct answer is. I believe that the Canvas gives you tells you whether you got the answer or not. Is that right, Mia? And sometimes it gives you the correct answer after you answer the question. Yeah. No, the quiz that in Canvas is going to stay the way it is. Okay, you answer the quiz in the Canvas according to whatever I type here in the screen. Okay, that's how we do it. (11:42). So you have until another 8 minutes. You have until 8 minutes, and I'm preparing the question for quiz 3 now. I want to be ahead of the game here. Let's see how you folks are doing. Okay. Okay, most of you has finished already, right? I see a few students that are not taking the quiz. So most of you, whoever started already finished, huh? I gotta cut down the time available. Oh, there's one more student here that's doing. Okay. Next time we do it quicker, okay? Basically, I gave you 10 minutes to do that. Next time, we do it quicker so you can do more questions. I am changing the schedule a little bit, right? We couldn't do the first experiment that was measurement today. We're going to do next week. So there is no lab report yet due. Okay. 4 more minutes to go. I didn't write down the third question yet, Vahad. We did only 2 questions so far. First question was quiz number 1. Second question was quiz number 2. And you're going to do quiz number 3. You're going to have your third question there in quiz number 3, okay? I didn't formulate the third question yet. Yeah, most of you got it right in the second quiz. Most of you must have got right on the first quiz as well, right? Yeah, I can see it. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the second quiz. 3 more minutes to go. I will set the third quiz, for a little bit less than 5 minutes. Quiz number 3. Edit. Okay, I'm saving. Just like I said, my quizzes I don't display the quizzes that are in Canvas. You will, the question, right, for the quiz, you will see here in my screen. So let me start sharing the screen again. For the next one, it's due at 11:55. It's 11:49 right now. Okay. Okay, and now I have only 4 options there for quiz number 3, right? You have until 11:55 to do that. So everything is going smoothly there, right? That's the third question. Okay, let's see here. My question has timed out. So which question? One, the quiz 2 or 3? Which one you're referring to, Mary? Three already? Anybody else had any problems like that too? Let's see. You're supposed to have until 11:55 to do that, Mary. Let me see if I did something. It might be out of order. Let me see. It says it is wrong, but it's. Let me see here. Maybe I. So we are having a problem with number 3, right? Yes, it's the right answer is supposed to be length, time, and mass. Yes, that's true. Okay. Okay, so I must have checked the wrong, I must have prepared the quiz incorrectly there. Okay, yeah, that's the right answer. Length, time, and mass. I'll check what I did there in the quiz, in the third quiz. Oh, really? Huh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought I had checked C there. Okay, my fault. My fault. But everything went well with quiz 1 and 2, right? According to today's according to today's lecture, how many core ideas are there in physics? 3, right? Basic quantities, primary definitions, and the laws of physics. How many basic quantities are there in physics? Right? 7. I didn't cover all the 7 quantities, basic quantities. I only covered 4 of them: length, time, mass, and temperature. Then there are 3 more that I didn't tell you yet, so that would be B. On quiz 3, yeah, okay, I'll check what I did here. There is a way to fix that. If you folks answer length, times, and mass, you got it right. Okay. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing in the next, in the upcoming weeks until the end of the semester, and I'll make sure I don't make the same mistake I made on quiz number 3. Okay. So remember, position is not the same as length, right? Position is not the same as length. Any questions about that? 11:53 right now. We have another 7 minutes to go. Okay.
Professor,
yeah.
Would you be giving points back for quiz 3 if we did answer it correct? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will correct there. I'll go inside. There's a way to fix that. I thought I had put C in there, but it doesn't look like I did. Okay. And so let's take advantage of the 7 minutes that are left. And I didn't finish talking about the graphs, right? I'm hoping everybody's doing that. Everybody's, plotting the graph. And now we're going to do something neat. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in 6 minutes only. And you're going to see Excel. Do you see that R squared is equal to 1 here? Okay. R squared has a very important interpretation. Okay. What you have, again, R squared is called the determination coefficient. Okay, R squared is called the determination coefficient. Okay. The square root of R squared is R. Okay. The square root, right, of R squared is R, which is called, okay, again, if we studied statistics, right, the correlation coefficient. They have very important interpretations in statistics. Okay. R, the correlation coefficient, has values between -1 and +1. And by the way, is equal here, okay? Greater or equal, let's put it this way, greater or equal than -1. Let me see if I can put this way, equal right in here. R is greater or equal than -1. That's less or equal than +1. I'm going to emphasize the values of the correlation coefficient. But Excel, most people, know the correlation coefficient. But for some reason, Bill Gates, who is the owner of Excel, he decided to display not the correlation coefficient, but the determination coefficient in Excel. He has his reasons to do that. Okay, I don't know what his reasons were. So, because he's displaying only the determination coefficient, right? R squared has values between 0 and +1, right? 0 and +1. Let me raise this guy here to the power superscript. Here you go, R squared. I'm gonna put the positive here, the equal sign here, not the positive. Ooh. I already did that. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Here you go. It's like that. Everything is right. That means less or equal. Okay. That means greater or equal. So what does those values mean? What those values of r squared means? Okay. R and r squared means if r squared is 0, it means that your equation fits very poorly your data points. That's what it means. We also say that there is no correlation. There is no correlation between the data points and your regression equation. That's what it means. Okay. On the other hand, the label for r squared, let's see here. Let me finish writing that here, okay? And then I will go back to the graph. However, on the other hand, on the other extreme, if r squared is equal to 1, exactly equal to 1, it means that your regression equation fits perfectly your data points, perfectly. Okay? And you have everything else in between, perfectly. There is complete correlation between the data points, between your data points and the regression equation. That's what it means. Now let's go back to the equation here. Right here, okay, here you go. Could you go back to the graph really quick to see the label for r squared? What do you mean the label is 1? See that? 1. In this case, this graph, this equation that you see right here fits perfectly your data points. That's why the r squared is equal to 1. Okay. In real life, we never get r squared equal to 1. If you get r squared equal to 1, you know, we never get. Sometimes, very rarely, we get r squared equal to 1. Okay. If you get r squared equal to 1, you know, you either made a mistake, you either cheated, or you are using equipment that doesn't have enough resolution. I have seen that happening in the third case. The students were not cheating, okay? And the student didn't make a mistake. It's just like the equipment that I was using, that I gave to my students, were not, didn't have enough of a resolution to provide an r squared less than 1. And they end up having r squared exactly equal to 1. In real life, you're going to get r squared less than 1. And that's what you're going to see when I start to show you the data when we start doing the experiments, okay? It's 11:59 right now, and we can stop right here. We'll continue talking about those concepts, those statistical concepts and physics as well, okay? Any questions? Any more questions?
No, thank you, Professor, so much. My rabbi right now, I just saw he just emailed me the letter.
Okay. Okay, and you emailed that to me too, right?
And so the first test, also my cousin, he's gonna email you. The first test, which is October 5th, is on our fast day. We won't be there. So are you gonna change the test for everybody or just for the 2 of us? How is it gonna work?
I'm gonna change the test for everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'll give you the other dates too. We're not going to be in class. Thank you.
Okay,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Donovan.
Professor, I had a quick question about the graph.
Yeah.
When I have my y equals x and r squared equals 1, it's in between the line. It's not letting me move it to kind of like the center of the graph, how yours is.
Let me see if I understand.
Like my y equals x and r squared equals 1 is where is it between like j and k, like at that last point.
Can you share your screen with me? It would be better if I share your screen with me so I can understand. Can you do that?
Yes.
Let me allow you to share the screen with me. Multiple participants can share the screen. I'm going to stop sharing and then you will be able to share. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe
let's
it's
see
this
what you
one.
mean. Anybody else had any problems? Okay, thank you, McKeon. Thank you, Wendy.
Oh, why is this becoming annoying?
We're still the middle of the week, right? So the weekend is still a little bit far away.
Why is it not letting me?
Go at the bottom, you should see share screen.
Here, let me try this.
I believe it's a screen square. Written share screen.
Share screen. It's saying that I have to, oh wait.
There's a toolbar, right? in
Oh,
Zoom.
it's saying I have to download smart virtual background.
Really?
Oh wait, no. Open system preferences. Oh, it's not letting me turn on my, because it's saying I have to go to security and then turn on Zoom, but it's not letting me click on the Zoom for some reason.
Let me see. Advanced, one participant share at a time. Yeah, I have allowed to do that. So let's go step by step.
It might just be my computer. That's
Might
not
be on your
good.
side, right?
Well, basically,
Okay, so let me share my screen and then you walk me through exactly what you see on your screen, okay? So ideally, you should be sharing your screen so I can understand, but let's try to do this way. Here you go, here you go. Here is the data, right? X
yes.
and Y,
So
right?
if you go on 6,
yeah.
and then go all the way up to the point, that's like between that point and the other point, my y equals x and r squared equals 1 is lying in between that point. So it's intersecting within the line of the graph. And I don't know how to move it to the position of where yours is at.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. Your point t 6 seconds, is exactly at x equal to 6. Is that right? Or it's a different spot?
It's just both the y equals x and the r squared equals 1 is basically between like 5.5 and like 5.5.
Okay, so they're not at 6 and they're
No,
not.
all my points are correct. I'm just saying, like the actual y equals x and r squared equals 1, like what you have on the graph, like what you inputted, like the equation's intersecting with my graph. Like, how do I get it to just go to the side of the graph?
Okay. Yeah. Can you take a picture and send me by email? Maybe that would be better, so I can analyze exactly what's happening there. So send me to my personal email address, and I'll see it right now, and we could continue discussing. Okay, so.
Okay, yeah, I'll email you a photo of it.
Yeah, email me a photo. Don't get offline.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I will send it to you right now.
Yeah, you have my personal email address, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Don't go yet. Don't go yet.
Oh, send it right now.
Yeah, email and then we discuss it right now. I'll take a look. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave.
Sorry, I thought.
Yeah, you don't have to leave. We want to resolve that.
Okay, I just sent it.
Did you email? Okay.
Yeah.
You sent mine to AOL, is that right? AOL address.
Let me double check.
Make sure the AOL.
Oh no, it was at the harbor.edu one.
Yeah, send me to my AOL. That's easier for me. Let's see. Okay, looks like I got it here. Let's see. Okay, I got it here. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, let me share that with you.
Thank you.
It's just the text that's coinciding with the line. Okay, it's no big deal that, but there is a way to move that, right? Did you click on the equation?
Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me click on it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's only giving the symbol of like when you move the graph. It's not giving me an arrow.
Is that a Mac or a Windows?
It's Windows, it's Mac, but I have like the Microsoft Excel. Like that's what I'm working with.
Yeah, okay, so you can see, right? If I click, let's say in the Y, it makes this box around it here, right? Right?
Yeah,
And then I can move around. I can put anywhere I want, right? You
yeah,
should
it's
be
not,
able to- yeah.
it's not letting me. Every time I click it, it pops up on the side saying chart with like format and like chart. Oh, maybe it's a chart title. No.
Yeah. See, if let me see, I'm gonna click on X, right? Highlighted. Let me try click here. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm clicking close by, but it's not doing anything, right? I click a little bit to the left and it highlights. I don't know. It might be.
It's not letting me.
Yeah, you might be clicking the wrong place, or is something wrong with your computer, or I do not know exactly what you have right now is something like that, right?
Yeah, it's like it's not letting me click it.
Huh.
I've been trying for like a while. Like I've been clicking everywhere. It's not letting me click it.
Yeah. Huh. I do not know. Yeah, sometimes it helps just to quit and go back again to the software, and then the problem gets resolved. Try to do that now. You know, save it, of course, save the graph first, right? Save the spreadsheet, and then reopen it. And hopefully the problem will go away. Sometimes it helps to do that.
What would I just do, like save as?
Yeah, save, right? Yeah. In my case, you go.
Like I would do file and then save as.
Yeah, close it. Are you doing that on the cloud, or this file is inside your hard drive?
I have the Microsoft Excel on my laptop and I'm just working on it like that, but I don't know how to save it exactly.
Well, it's just you know, you go here you go. I'm sharing my screen, right? Go to file, and then you highlight save.
Why it's being so weird? It's only making me save as. Like it's not saying save. It only gives me to copy to save as.
Yeah, it seems that you're using the cloud to do that, but I'm not sure.
Is there a different one that I'm supposed to be using?
Well, let's see if it works. Let's see, save as and then quit. You know, save as and quit. Make sure it gets saved. I'm gonna do that right. So here you go. And now I'm gonna reopen, right, my document. You do that.
Yeah, it's still not letting me click on it.
Were you able to quit it, to exit, or not?
Well, I saved as, and then I went back to like the regular Excels where it shows like all the things that you saved, and I clicked it, and it's still not letting me click onto it.
Did you try to? What about this X here at the top right?
The X. Could you show that to me? Oh, that. I don't have that. I don't have that on my computer.
Strange. Okay, so there is something. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I do not know. It looks like there is a problem with your software right now, either with your software or your computer. I have to think what else to do. It seems that it crashed. You know, is it possible it crashed? Can you still edit it? Can you type anything in the cells?
Yeah, everything else works. The only thing that it doesn't let me do is to click on the y equals x and r squared equals 1. That's the only thing it doesn't let me do.
But you cannot quit either, right? You cannot close it either.
Well, when I saved it and I went back to home, like the home page of Excel.
What about close? Did you close the file? When the file is open, did you close it here?
Well, I'm back to just like the Excel like cover where it's like it gives me all of the recent books basically that I had opened.
Okay. And
I can just click on each one.
And do you see the graph right now? Do you see the graph right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I end up clicking on it, but it's still not letting me click onto the
Okay.
y equals x, r squared equals 1.
Okay, so let's do the following. Close it. Close it. Let's do it step by step. Close it. Right? Close Microsoft altogether. Every Microsoft file, go ahead and close it. If you have to
Okay.
say, okay. I'm gonna close as well. Okay. So here you go. Close it. Let me close this one as well. It starts from scratch, right? No Microsoft, see, running whatsoever.
Okay, give me a second. It's not letting me log back in. Okay.
Okay, so you close it. There's no Microsoft Excel there, right?
Yeah, I closed both of them and I logged back in and it's still not letting me do it. I'm not.
Okay, and the graph, where's the graph located? The graph,
Like-
where is the spreadsheet located?
It's in the center of my screen.
In the center of your screen. Okay, so you were not able to quit it, right? We were not able to close it.
I exited out of everything and then I went back. I clicked on it again to see if it would let me click on it. And it's still not letting me.
It should not let you. Okay.
I'm not sure.
I do not know what's happening. The best way would be to try again to share your screen with me.
Okay.
You know? We're gonna give it this last try. If it doesn't work, we try next time. Okay.
Okay.
Try to share the screen with me again. You see the square, right? The green square at the bottom.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Yeah. I know where to go. The thing is that when I go to, because it's saying you have to go to preferences and then security and privacy, and you have to turn it on for Zoom in order for like me to be able to share my screen, but it's not letting me click on Zoom.
Okay. So it looks like your computer is not allowing you to share the screen. That's what's happening.
Like it takes me to where Zoom is and I would just have to click on for Zoom and then it